Hey, seventh grade. Trying out some new technology for you guys today. It's called Screencastify. So let's hop right in, see how it goes. Try to make this quick because I'm finishing the Braves and Dodgers game here in a little bit. So we got things to do. Announcements. So the V in Beaver's Future Ready Students stands for valuing diversity. And valuing means appreciating. Okay. It's not just people of different backgrounds, cultures, ethnicities, language groups, religions, whatever it might be, sexual orientations. You should just not be tolerant of them, and you certainly shouldn't be hateful or prejudiced towards those people, but should be valuing them. Okay, thinking that their unique perspective is welcomed and appreciated, and it helps make America wonderful that we have all these different perspectives. All right, so that's the V in our Future Ready Beaver acronym. That's our student profile, what we hope you are becoming. Another acronym for you, CAIFUDI, which I just was thinking about a lot with Mrs. Schaefer at Hillcrest, and especially in sixth grade, we've had a lot of people just on just having people hands-on people and messing with their stuff and really having elementary problems, and not so much in your grade, I'll admit, but definitely in the sixth grade. So even though you're not at Hillcrest anymore, that still applies, and you think, oh, we're not kids anymore. I agree, but we you should act that way too. And so, like I said, not really something I dealt with in your grade, but just remember that. All right, and then remember, please do your part and mask up. All right. We are still in the yellow. We are still trying as best we can to keep you guys here on campus. I actually heard your seventh grade student council president say just today, we don't want to go red. I don't think anybody enjoyed that. And I know one little silver lining from that is that kids maybe appreciate school a little bit more. But in the hallways, when I see you, I'm losing patience with that a little bit. That's the most important time to wear the mask. All right. That's when you mix with the most people and still do your part with distancing. If you don't feel well, stay home. And hopefully we can stop the spread and stay in school, guys. So do your part just for the school community, please. Remember, we're doing our lessons for Unit 1 Mindset and Goals in the second step program. And a review from last week tells us that we talked about identifying roadblocks and knowing that they're going to happen, first off. And I'm pointing, but you guys can't really see that, of the perception of what success people may feel that it may be. I just work hard and it's an upward straight trajectory, or what it really feels like or is lots of twists and turns and setbacks. And so we talked about types of roadblocks, whether it's an internal thing or an external. Internal, you have a bit more control over in terms of being proactive. It's in your circle of control. External, you may not be able to go around. But first step, identify those roadblocks. All right. So we are going to go to this other page and go to today's lesson. Hopefully you can see that all right. Overcoming roadblocks, part 1. In this lesson, we'll learn how to create plans for getting past roadblocks. The next part tells us, as a warm-up, if you remember our character, Vera, she is sort of a X-Men type character in terms of being in the school and wanting to be on the superhero team. And so it says there in your class, if you could just think about, just say them out loud, out of these internal roadblocks, remember these are conflicts or potential problems that are just your own making or internal, what's going to be more challenging for her? The fact that she forgets her training uniform often, or that she has self-doubt with her own abilities. I don't know, forgetfulness over lack of confidence. I know what my choice would be in terms of what the toughest one would be. How about things outside her control, external? Other students say she's not good enough. The haters out there, and no powers are allowed at home, sort of in a Harry Potter style. So just think about that. This video that we're going to watch, it takes a little while to load, but I think it's worth it. So I'm going to do what we call stalling or vamping for a second. Just think about your own potential roadblocks and which ones are most challenging. So this video talks about some plans that you make, and I'm going to attempt to get my screen out of here for a second while we watch this about 3-minute video, and hopefully you can hear it.
How can you overcome roadblocks and get away with your goal? How can you overcome roadblocks and get away with your goal? You're going to face a roadblock or two when you're trying to achieve a goal. Getting that.
think you can still hear me even though my camera's not on. Sorry about the audio and the loading. Let's see if it's got.
Now, you're more likely to succeed if you think about your roadblocks before you get started.
Mm. All right, guys, I'm sorry. That's my internet at home is a little slow. Let's bring back my floating head there for a second. Hi. And the video wasn't that good. I can explain it to you. And we're talking about if-then plans, okay? And trying to anticipate, that's the if. And I joked with, well, these are already flipped. Joked with Mrs. Schaefer about this first question. What are the two parts of an if-then plan? Just if-then. But since we didn't study the video, I'll take a little bit more time to explain it to you. So trying to anticipate or even if there are roadblocks that you've had before, if this occurs, what am I going to do? Okay, that's the if is a cue you can react to quickly. And they talk about the if then plan being in place before it happens. So then is a specific action or actions you can do immediately. There's an activity coming up for you to practice this. I think the video talked about if somebody was saying, I'm not going to drink soda for a while, which would be good for me. And they needed to know, okay, what are some potential roadblocks? How about your friends offer you some pop when you're out for lunch? Or maybe they all drink pop and they give you some heck for not doing it. So you need to, if you're offered, then I'll just ask water. If someone tries to make fun of you or give you tease you, then I'm just going to ignore them or whatever it may be. Okay. So when you know that a potential roadblock is going to be in your path and you think, what if this if happens? And it should be an actual thing that could happen, or you try to anticipate real roadblocks, not a if dinosaurs come and try to keep you from your goals, right? Then what will you do? Okay. And these are some things they talked about on the video that wouldn't play, how you can remember your if then plan. Write it down somewhere, post it on a wall, or read it aloud a few times. And you have written, or most of you should have, actual goals in your agenda. And so you might look back at those and see what are some potential roadblocks or things that have kept you back in the past from good grades or making the basketball team or whatever it is. And so if this happens and it's been something you faced before, then what will you do? Okay. And that's really at the heart of today's lesson of just making sure you have as many good, solid if then plans as possible. So let's go back to Vera real fast. Vera has a special set of high tech gloves and boots that channel her gravity warping powers. These powers are pretty cool. She wants to use these to practice controlling her powers, but there are roadblocks in her way. All right. Let's talk about some if then plan options. So she keeps forgetting her gloves and boots. That's the roadblock. All right. So she says this is an option for her if then plan. If I open my backpack and see I forgot to bring my gloves and boots to school, then I'll call someone in my family to bring them to me. It reminds me of Chromebooks a little bit, to be honest. Pros and cons of that one. The plan, as we said before, you're going to call somebody. The pro, it's easy to call somebody, solves the problem if they can easily bring them to school. Cons, it's really not dependent on her. She doesn't build better habits. It depends on family members. They could become annoyed with her or be busy. They might refuse to do it. So it's not the best plan. So let's look at another option. Still, same roadblock. She needs those things to help with her powers, get her on the X-Men type team, even though they don't call it X-Men. So now she says, when I'm packing my backpack for school before I go to bed, then I'll make sure to pack my gloves and boots. All right. So that's kind of an if then type thing. Pros, when I'm packing my backpack, I'll pack right at the same time. Prevents the problem. I really like that. It's not a reaction to it, it's proactive. Helps build a habit of making sure I have everything I need before leaving. Easy to do. Think of that with your if then plans. If your then is impossible, okay, someone's going to get in my way in the football game. You may be fast and you can outrun them, but you can't fly over them. Okay. Or if it's like a sport against the rules type thing. So, might be hard if I'm really tired, she says. I might not remember my gloves or boots. I think this is pretty doable, though, in terms of an if then plan. Um, with a partner, choose, and you guys, homeroom teachers, you're welcome to pause this part if you want, but it talks about potential roadblocks that are getting in the way of Vera's entrance into the elite superhero squad at her school. Sounds cool. Put a check mark next to your choice, then write the then part of an if then plan for it. Describe the pros and cons of your plan. So in homeroom, I'm not making you guys, and it's hard for me because I'm just a floating head on this video, write stuff down very often, but maybe you could just shout something out. So if I start doubting myself as I practice with my powers, then any ideas with that self doubt? I don't want to give them to you, but maybe you could fill them in. Homeroom teachers, maybe you have an idea. And remember, this is an if that has been plaguing her. It's not a hypothetical. Okay, how about this? When my parents tell me I can't practice at home, then okay, and don't with your if then create another problem, right? Getting in, just breaking the rule is not a very good then answer or response, because that could create a new problem. All right, so again, I want you to come up with something. And then here's another one. If I my friends ask me to hang out during practice time, then remember, she's committed to trying to get on this team. So there, if people are trying to say, hey, let's go do this, let's go hang out, what is she going to do then? She needs a plan. All right, so maybe you have some ideas of your own, okay, to help her with those that you could, with this process, apply to yourself, hopefully. All right. So now we have success. Look at these cool superheroes. That guy just looks like a werewolf. I don't know, or Wolverine. This really is like copyrighted infringement almost. So after months of hard work and learning, Vera knows how to control her powers, and she makes the squad as a junior member. Her code name, Persevera. I like that. She's persevered. New challenges await, but she's confident she can overcome roadblocks with if then plans. If this happens, what are you going to do? All right. Wrap it up. Like I said, in your agenda, sure, if you want, just in your brain, an if then plan if you have a roadblock of your own. Okay, whether it's a school goal or a sports related goal or something at home, what's something that's going to get in your way? And when it does, what are you going to do? So the if then. Okay, at least in your brain, think about it. This is pretty good stuff. And like we said, roadblocks are inevitable on the path to success for sure. So back to my own PowerPoint here, if I can get there. The quote to end on is from this handsome gentleman right there, Benjamin Franklin. And he says, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Okay. So often people will tell me, hey, I didn't know this was going to happen. And that happens in life. Certainly there's unpredictable stuff. But if you can anticipate it, have a plan, have an if then plan. And that's one way to overcome roadblocks. All right. Sorry about the video not loading. Hopefully this new format's not okay. Or not okay. It is okay. Thanks for listening. Have a great Tuesday. Hope to see you guys around. Later.